This morning's talk is about using fruit trees and shrubs and bushes and vines as part of your landscape. So we'll start off talking about some high bush blueberries, since that's this line we're looking at here. They require more than one variety. You're looking to put in at least two, if not three, varieties to get your pollination. And the fun part of these, as a landscape goes, if you have children or if you're just like to have some fresh fruit on your cereal, they start to produce in the first season and should continue for you, so you don't have the wait that you would with some other bushes. As we walk down, you're just going to see some really nice plants, and we're in the early part of the summer when they're starting to produce. High bush blueberries, a bit different than the wild blueberries. They tend to produce over a period of time, so you'll be able to gather a bowl for your cereal for a few weeks in the summertime, as opposed to the native type that come and finish. And the fruit gets large when they're healthy. The fruit will be maybe the size of a dime or a nickel. The really nice, a nice fun thing to grow, and they have an aspect in landscape. They have beautiful fall colors, so the leaves turn nicely in the fall. You can make just a grouping of them or have a small hedge. Gooseberries are a great plant to have in your yard. There's such a nice flavor, and you can pick them fresh for a good period of the summertime. As we walk along, the butternuts, a shrub that are actually a tree, but one that a lot of people consider to be worthwhile. The cranberries, high bush blueberries, or high bush cranberries, I'm sorry, hazel bushes, which have a nut. Then there's a group of currants. Some of these currants are red, white, and black currants. A lot of people love this in their cooking and fruit cakes and so on. The kiwi vine can be produced in the area, and it'll produce a smaller fruit than you might be familiar with in the stores, but they do produce well for you. Switch over to vines, and we're looking at, we had the kiwi. We also have a great choice in grape vines, and you'll see them starting clusters this early in the season, and they produce really well. They need a sunny location and up against the garage wall where you want to brighten it up. Just a real nice plant to work into your garden. It is easy to grow apple trees in New Brunswick. Orchards have lined the river valley for years. The one trick that a homeowner can plant these in as part of a landscape. You get a large flower in the spring of the year. Theoretically, it's best to remove all the fruit until they're established. We allow fruit on here because it's a great sales push. When you walk in and see this September ruby loaded with fruit, I think there's 30 varieties that we start our season with, and most time throughout the year you would find 10 to 15 varieties of apples. There's a collection of apples that have grafts of different types. This one has Jonathan, and it also has Delicious, but 4 different apples on the one tree where they're grafted. If you're planting them, they need a sunny location. They need a bit of space. Apple trees tend to grow wide, so you want to have some room to let them develop into a really productive tree for you. Probably a semi-dwarf is what we carry most of, and they're a little sooner producing and about a third smaller than a standard tree. As I said, the Cortland, Honeycrisp, Macintosh, all the varieties you're used to, plus some varieties that are considered to be disease resistant, Empire, and some of these are really, really, enjoyable. It's so hard to beat that pie that you choose from your, and the size of the fruit that were shown here is only half the size that you can grow when you get it in your yard. not to stop at apples, it's your choice. You could have peaches, you could have pears, you could have plums, and in a lot of cases they require 2 varieties for pollination. You plant them in that sunny area, then you stake them so that the wind doesn't disturb them too much. You can put a good rich fertilizer around the base and give them that well-drained area so they winter better, and you'll have an orchard and part of your landscape. You build it right in. Plan where you want that fruit tree to be in your yard. Imagine it's going to be 20-25 feet across when it matures, and we don't want to have to move it because you decide to put in a garage in the same area. So think about it before you plant. Plant it in a well-drained area, sunshine, and lots of chance for it to develop into a really productive large tree. We want a rich soil around it. We want to make sure it's staked properly, and we want to spend a little time with you when you go to plant and tell you exactly how we recommend you put them in to have your success. And plant a few years. It takes a while. Pollination is important. They need 2 different varieties, so you have to consider that you want to plant 2 that you really like. So let's have a Honeycrisp and a Cortland and put them in a good a line of sight, I should say. Not the spacing you use in an orchard, but either corner of your backyard would be wonderful. I really think you should have a fruit tree in your landscape. And we start the spring with strawberries and raspberries, bare root. We have the high bush blueberries, the grapes, the currants, the kiwi, the cherries, the plums, the apples, the peaches, and the pears. What a wonderful start for that summer pie you want to make.